What up, you gosh darned nerds? Fallout here, and if you weren't aware, farming the Prophecy Dungeon is probably one of the most efficient loot grinds in D2 right now, for both particular weapons and for armor. Many of the armor drops from Prophecy come equipped with ridiculously high base stats. Not always, but pretty damned frequently, and there's a handful of really schmexy weapons too. The Judgment hand cannon is a great non-exotic 140 RPM hand cannon, which I appreciate because I was getting a little tired of only having the adept palindrome to look at longingly. Also, the Darkest Before pulse rifle is really hot in PvP right now. If you were a fan of the Grid Skipper, check out the new and improved Darkest Before. It's got great role options that aren't available on the grid. Anyway, in today's video, we're gonna go over both what loot drops from what encounter in the Prophecy Dungeon and how to farm the dungeon exactly, even if you don't have the 1000 voices. I'm mainly gonna show you how to farm the final encounter, the Kel Echo, but the loadouts I show you are gonna be strong enough to help you burn through the first 2 encounters too, if those are what you want to farm. But hey, real quick question. Do you want to be a basic bitch your whole life? Of course not. That's why you're about to have your life elo skyrocketed by downloading
Raid Shadow Legends.
It's got more champions than you can shake a stick at, over 600 and counting, but it's also got a wild variety of big bad bosses too. Here's one, Guardian of the Void Keep, Malek Kavar. He looks like he takes Halloween way too seriously, but he'll give you a nice little supply of void potions to ascend your champions with. You just gotta beat his first. Debuff blocking, debuff removing, or just straight up healing can help you deal with his annoying poison damage, and with that out of the way, just take him to school. What I like about Raid Shadow Legends, honestly, is the auto combat feature. Sometimes while I'm working on scripts or video editing, I'll just pop it open on one of my many monitors and let that combat roll, baby. Grinding doesn't get any more optimal than that. This month, Raid put out a big Doom Tower update. There's 2 huge new bosses to take on, Astronix the Dark Fae and Bamal the Dreadhorn, along with new enemy balance on tower floors, new secret rooms, and new artifact sets. If that ain't enough for you, the whole month is packed with awesome events and tournaments, including one very special event with a brand new feature, Super Raids. They let you double up your rewards from hitting dungeons and massively speed up your progress. If you want a big head start in Raid, all you gotta do is hit the link in the video description or scan the QR code right here. New players will get an epic hero, Chinoru, essentially the goth girlfriend you wish you had in high school, 200k silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 ancient shard so you can summon an awesome champion right away when you get in game. You'll get extra rewards in your inbox right here for the next 30 days only. When you're in, look for me in-game under the name Fall Uwoot, because why not? Again, check the link in the video description and I'll see you in-game. Alright, back to the content. So first of all, the encounter you'll wind up farming is going to totally depend on what loot you're trying to pull. Take a look at the following graphic here, courtesy of Nearest on Twitter. If you're looking for the Judgment hand cannon or the Long Walk sniper, that would be encounter number 1 against the Phalanx Echo. If you're trying to get the Swift Verdict sidearm or the Last Breath auto rifle, you're going to have to farm encounter number 2, the Cube. Finally, if you're looking for either the Darkest Before pulse rifle or a sudden death shotgun, that would be encounter number 3, the Kel Echo, aka the final boss. Now, I mentioned you can also get high rolled armor from the dungeon. If you're interested in just pulling in a wide range of armor, I'd recommend you farm the final boss fight only. 1 of 3 pieces of armor can drop from the final chest, but 1 of 5 pieces of armor can also drop from the Kel Echo's dead body, meaning you've got a really good shot at walking away from a Kel Echo farm with great high stat armor. Keep in mind though that the armor the Kel Echo drops is the Moonfang armor. You can find it in your collection tab if you want to know what it looks like. In order for the Echo to drop that armor, you gotta have it already unlocked in your dungeon loot pool, I'm pretty sure. Therefore, if you don't have the Moonfang armor pieces unlocked from the dungeon already, maybe this armor farm won't be very good for you. But if you just keep doing the dungeon all the way through every week and get every hidden chest along the way, you'll probably get all that armor unlocked in no time. One more important note regarding loot in this farm. In order to repeatedly farm loot from the final chest after killing the final Echo, you have to beat the entire dungeon all the way through at least once that week. Otherwise, if you simply go right to the boss checkpoint and try to farm that repeatedly, you'll get only 1 drop, your first weekly drop, and then nothing after that, no matter how many times you beat the Kel. So 100% make sure to beat the entire dungeon all the way through before you begin farming the Kel Echo. Back to what I was saying earlier, the Kel Echo boss is also the easiest boss to farm in the dungeon by far. The pre-boss fight takes no time at all, and with the method I'ma show you, you'll not only be able to one-phase murder the Kel, you'll do it before they're able to teleport even 1 time. Fusion rifles, man. Anywho, real quick, for any blueberries out there, let's talk about how to actually farm in case you don't know. The TLDR is that you have to get a checkpoint for whatever boss boss you want to farm. You can get a checkpoint either by getting one from a friend who may be holding onto one, or worst case scenario, you got to go through the whole dungeon legit until you get to the checkpoint you need. When you have that checkpoint, make sure you all die, respawn, and then have someone in your fire team change characters, then load back into that fire team. Relaunch the encounter, then everybody wipe again. Now you should have that checkpoint saved on 2 different guardians on your account. You're gonna go back and forth between loading the checkpoint on Guardian A, having your friends join you, and then you change over to Guardian B, completing the boss fight and earning loot on Guardian B, then hopping back over to Guardian A and reloading that saved checkpoint, rinse and repeat. Loadout wise, the Season 15 plan for murdering the Kel Echo should be a surprise to very few people. Particle deconstruction is the shining star of the operation, and we're going to build our entire loadout around it. If y'all have the 1000 voices, that's a top tier option, but if you don't have one, don't panic. I ran the Kel Echo with the team all using the sleeper simulant, and again, we killed the Echo before 1 teleport. If anyone on LFG is telling you that you need the 1000 voices, tell them that Fallout told them to f off. Sleeper simulant or a Vorpal weapon threaded needle, both will work fine. Class-wise, I recommend bringing 1 Radiant Well Warlock and 1 Revenant Hunter. The final guardian on the team can either be a Bubble Titan, a Bottom Tree Tether Hunter, a Celestial Nighthawk Golden Gun Hunter, or even a Falling Star Thunder Crash Titan. Honestly, anything would work. You're gonna nuke the Kel Echo either way, even if you let him teleport 1 time. I mean, really, who cares? For the 1 phase though, here is the game plan. Everybody both has on particle deconstruction and focusing lens on your artifact turned on. They're both very important. Particle deconstruction for that big 40% damage from fusion rifles, but focusing lens plays a key role too. You see, when an enemy is either slowed or frozen, they take 25% more damage from any light ability. The way D2 works is that if you're standing in a Warlock Well of Radiance, the game will count that as a light ability, even though you're technically dealing weapon damage. Keep in mind, you only get the damage from focusing lens if you have the artifact mod turned on yourself. Not only the Radiant Well Warlock, everybody on the team has to have it on in order for everybody to get the damage buff. So you drop down the hole to the boss fight, and without even moving forward 1 step towards the Kel Echo, immediately drop your Radiant Warlock Well, and the Revenant Hunter should right away throw their super. The Kel Echo becomes slowed due to the Revenant super, meaning everybody in the Warlock Well gets extra damage from focusing lens, and now you just open fire either the 1000 voices, the sleeper simulant, or the Vorpal threaded needle. As long as you have particle deconstruction on, you're gonna do huge damage, and the Echo will go down very quickly. If your 3rd guardian has a Ward of Dawn, be sure to drop that somewhere in the back corner, mildly out of the way so it doesn't block your line of fire. If your 3rd guardian is a Nighthawk Golden Gun, wait for the Revenant super to make contact before you unleash your Golden Gun shot to take advantage of focusing lens. If you're a Thunder Crash Falling Star Titan, I would say do it towards the end of the damage phase, because if you do it at the beginning, you're gonna get stomped away, you could possibly die, you're gonna miss out on all that extra focusing lens damage. Do it at the end. It's really important to know that if you're a Tether Hunter, you have a high chance of effing up the damage phase because of some kind of weird bug going on in D2. If you're using Tether combined with particle deconstruction, you're only gonna get the extra damage if you hit the Echo with Tether after particle deconstruction has been activated. If you hit the Echo with Tether before activating PD, it won't work. That's been confirmed by many different people in the community, so roll with whatever loadout you want, but make sure you get the timing down. But even if you do F up the timing, probably won't make that much of a difference, right? This loadout hits so hard that worst case scenario, the Echo teleports away 1 time, and oh no, you take an extra 5 seconds to murder it. What a tragedy. Final important thing to mention, if you're farming for armor, don't forget to head down to your Ghost Shell and turn on an armorer mod. That way you can make your armor drops more custom tailored to what you're looking for. And there you go. Once you get into a rhythm with this farm, you're going to be drowning in loot in no time. Remember, that strategy works great on every other boss in the dungeon, so good luck with whatever loot you're trying to get. I'd like to give a big shout out to my Patreons, especially those in these particular high-level tiers. Do me a favor and click the like button if today's video helped you out in any way, and be sure to share with any teammates looking for a good farm. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.